As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could be F5'd. I'm John Renton with my review of WWE Raw from Cincinnati, Ohio. And with the Royal Rumble firmly behind us, so goddamn firmly like a shit we just can't squeeze out, one of the worst Rumble events in recent memory, we are speeding on the chode to WrestleMania. And 61 days away, we only have one more roadblock, dramatic pause, end of the line, until we get to the most stupendous two-night live event of the WWE calendar year in Dallas, Texas, April 2nd and April 3rd. And oh boy, it's going to be a goddamn slog, isn't it? But we have only the Elimination Chamber to worry about. And boy, in Saudi Arabia, if you're a woman or any member of the LGBTQ community, you are fucked if you step out of line. Hell, you're fucked by just simply existing. We'll talk about that when we get closer to the show. Let's talk about this Raw. It wasn't very good. There was like one good match. Seriously. I understand that coming out of the Rumble, they didn't have a lot of positive buzz. I mean, that's really putting it mildly. In fact, that was one of the worst received Rumble events in quite a while. And especially considering that last year's Rumble was in the award-winning WWE Thunderdome, and this was in a big stadium, and they had a big raucous crowd. That crowd was kind of halfway sitting on their hands. Also, the WrestleMania sign caught fire twice. 2 times. Maybe don't have the goddamn Mania sign, do the pyro thingy and stuff like that and whatever, but whoo, boy. Yeah, Cincinnati, Ohio, though. If you don't think there's going to be a lot of jokes about a certain show that took place in Cincinnati, you don't know me very well. And I am going to have plenty of goddamn humor. Plenty of humor. I'm going to beat it into my own skull. Ow. So, recaps of Reigns screwing over the Bork Laser and then the Bork Laser winning the Rumble. Here's Adam Pearce to talk about the Rumble and the upcoming Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia. I'm just going to randomly put people in the chamber match is what this segment should have been called. Here's Lashley in it was like a smoking jacket suit. It was like Joan Collins' satin bed sheets. I don't really understand it. Why did I reference Joan Collins in a 2022 review? I don't fucking know. MVP's there, and he's upset at Pearce. Why should he have to defend his championship after just winning it? He should be able to celebrate, dance to the music, the almighty break to dance to the... Okay, enough of that. So, Lashley says, who's the beast now? I mean, it's kind of still Brock. You're the almighty, you're not the beast, unless you want to take that nickname from him. I mean, you can. I'm not going to tell Lashley he can't. But the Bork Laser is here. It's Borkinnati, which sounds like some kind of weird pork shoulder thing. And he is here to fight, and he says he's going to shove MVP's cane up his ass if he doesn't, if he steps out of line again. But he's not mad at Lashley. He respects him. He's mad at Reigns and Heyman, Reignsman, if you will. And he says he gets to choose who he wants to face. And he will face Roman, but it will be title for title. He wants to face Lashley tonight. Bork Laser versus Bobby. Oh no. Since he's going to explode again. But Lashley says, well, he wants to. MVP says, you go to the back of the line. That's what I mean. And earn it. Bork calls him a chicken shit a whole bunch, so much that they kept having to have their goddamn finger right above the button. I pushed the button. I push it again. No, your turn. My turn. I push the button. I have a feeling that's how Kevin Dunn actually talks in the production truck. Pearce says, oh yeah, I don't want Bork to F5 me. Please don't F5 me. Please don't do it again. You're in the chamber. And that was pretty much it. That was about the first 15 minutes of this. I need Rhea to throw me, step on me. I don't fucking care. I fucking love Rhea Ripley. Moving on from my, I guess hard or soft simping, however you want to put it. That's apparently what people call it. They call it the simping. Look, Rhea's goddamn, she's a fucking goddess. How can anybody not love her? Rhea taking on Nikki Ash. So, Rhea's just great. How could you not adore Rhea? Nikki catches her after a flurry from Rhea and catches her in the apron and is brutally fisting her. And I've seen this level of fisting in a movie once, always delete search history. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't great. I didn't really care. I didn't care for them teaming up. I didn't care for this feud. I've seen worse matches. But Rhea got the Riptide 1, 2, 3. Let's move on. Riddle and Gable are going to compete in a scooter race. 50 laps. We're getting 50 laps of this bullshit. This took place over multiple segments, and let me just say, whoever came up with this deserves the absolute worst 2022. And if it was Vince, I hope he doesn't make it to the end of 2022 without being in a goddamn medically induced coma. Though maybe we'll bring him back to being the Vince McMahon of old. As opposed to old Vince McMahon. Why was Gable in a wetsuit? Oh, aerodynamics. Steve Patrick, because he is no longer Kevin, because Kevin Owens told him to change it, so now he is Steve Patrick, in case you're wondering. He moderates it. Truth has a NASCAR flag and says go. We get 50 laps of this bullshit. Not that the show was all that great, even with Rhea and Nikki, but I'm like, okay, the first match is a women's match. Fine. Grudge match, fine. What did anybody do to deserve this? What? This isn't entertainment. This is the kind of shit as to why, people are just tuning out in droves, and why only diehards like myself that will watch just about anything will continue to watch and review because they want to support the talents they care about. But goddamn, it is getting to be such a slog at this point. Oh boy, more Alexa therapy. When the Annabelle comes home is this tripe. Go to Hollywood, you twat. Anyway, why is this on a wrestling program? Why is this? Why? It's not good. Oh, it's trying to get her back to being the old Alexa Bliss. I know they're Alexa Bliss fans. That's fine. Be an Alexa Bliss fan all you want. I hate this stuff. I haven't liked Alexa Bliss since before this goddamn fiendish, demonic doll possessing bullshit and whatever. And this, we're going to revert her back to her old self. Or she's going to be a hodgepodge and nobody's going to care outside of the diehard people. But, Miz is here without Maurice, so thank fuck we don't have to worry about Maurice anymore. Look, I know that the mixed tag meant something to them. It was stupid. Maurice looks like she wants to be literally anywhere else. Move on. So we get Rumble stills. Dominic with Ray versus The Miz. What in God's name did I fucking do to deserve this? That's what I kept asking myself. Miz is jealous that Ray is on the cover of WWE 2K22. They are fighting over shampoo. Just insert that. Watch, it's going to actually be winner between Ray and Miz at Mania gets to be on the cover of the video game, even though they've already released the goddamn cover. So, Miz pretended, the Ray tripped him, and then while the referee was distracted, ended up hitting Dominic with the skull-crushing finale, got the victory. There was no point to this. None. Not at all. Dana and Tamina were scuffling backstage, because apparently I am not allowed to have any fun while watching this show. Tamina, shockingly, Snuka not gaining the advantage over a smaller woman. She did not learn that from her dad. And then we get more scoodles. We get scooters scootling by, scootering. So we get the scooters doing that bullshit and everything. Here comes more scooter stuff. Riddle runs into Omos. You have beautiful eyes. It was at this point I was questioning why Matt Riddle's parents did not practice safe. Why Matt Riddle's dad didn't pull out is what I'm really wondering. Why is the finish line at ringside? What is the point of doing laps then? Do laps around the goddamn ring, and then whoever wins, wins. They were doing laps around the goddamn arena, which apparently, was pretty goddamn big. I don't know much about it, but whatever. KO show 2. He talks about, Mania being 2 nights. Talking about being stupendous. 2 nights. That's double the stupendousness, which I should have hated. But it's Owens, and Owens made it work. Here's Rollins giving us Studio 54 vibes, which actually would explain, creative, because they had to be on about as many drugs as the people of Studio 54. If you don't know anything about Studio 54, Google it. Not the movie, just Google Studio 54. Clips of Reigns and Rollins. Owens says, "You are the Universal Champion of my heart." Obviously, this is leading to Owens versus Rollins at Mania. They couldn't telegraph this goddamn thing anymore. If they did on there, beep, 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 beep. I don't have a telegraph, so I just gotta use my notepad. Sorry, I know you guys might have thought I might have had a telegraph here, since I'm older than dirt, but I don't. So, Rollins says he's gonna be in the chamber. Doesn't even have to qualify. Owens says, "Hey, wait a second. Why don't we go talk to Pierce and Sonya and say that I need to be in the chamber and not have to qualify, and if they don't agree, you pull out of the chamber." And Rollins like, "I don't know about that. It's not that I don't trust you." But Owens like, "Well, I do it for you," and this kind of stuff. Obviously, again, leading to a match at Mania. And we get Owens versus Theory. Chamber qualifier. Owens is fired up. Theory ducks and dodges. Gets hit with the cannonball because he comes in like a cannonball. Sends Owens into the steps, back of the head first. I mean, they cushioned it as well as they could, but that was not a very smart thing. Because I was on the steps. Not the side, the fucking steps. That was dangerous. Owens comes back with DDT. The flip blockbuster, standing blockbuster is nice. Oh, Theory's a great athlete. He's as bland as white bread, but he's a great athlete. I'm not going to deny that. And then we get the Fisherman Buster variation off the top for 2. But then Theory gets him caught in the ropes, kicks the ropes. Oh no, he hurt his little Kevin. And then gets it with the ATL 1, 2, 3. Yay! Theory's in the chamber. They're going to have Theory versus Shane at Mania, and the winner gets, I believe, the winner will get to find out what's in Shane McMahon's lockbox. Remember that 6 years ago? When Shane McMahon made a shocking return, he referred to a lockbox for no reason? We never found out what the fuck was in it. So, we get drinks from the Street Profits for Riddle. Apparently, it's either alcohol or something, and not for Gable, but there's steak sauce from Otis that he gives to Gable. Oh, sodium. It is at this point that I'm wondering why Chad Gable did not decide to leave the company, because this is embarrassing. This is bad. People say, oh, it's like Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle did some goofy shit and everything. Gable is great as far as an athlete. He's not going to make this work. This is not good. This is terrible television. I'm done with the Street Profits is what I wrote down. Ziggler taking on Angelo Dawkins with Montez Ford. Well, okay, they aren't even trying tonight is what I wrote down. Dawkins and Ziggler, being from Ohio. Cool. Being from Cincinnati, I believe. You know, so good on Dawkins. He was from Cincinnati. I actually don't remember if Ziggler's from Cincinnati, Ohio. I don't really care at this point. I haven't cared about Ziggler for a number of years. Dawkins gets the victory. Cool. I mean, that was nice. Somebody won in their hometown. So, the scooter race is still going because I am not allowed to enjoy things. Veer is coming for his prey. He's also coming in Raw on his prey. This is going to get disgusting very quickly. Apparently, he was in a dark match or main event, so Veer is eventually coming. He just veered off the path. I'm just waiting for everybody to tune out the show because of that bad pun. So, this scooter bullshit is continuing. Otis stops Riddle while Gable is pulling a Peter Griffin. And doing that and everything. And then Otis stops Riddle and then Gable wins. So he can select the third and final thing. Gable deserves so much better than this. Majin Buu is annoying as fuck. Riddle took on Majin Buu in a match. Pierce says, hey, it's going to be a qualifying match. Because they are really bound and determined to get this thing set and then layer the card. Because they're trying to make these big things like WrestleMania. Look, I'm not saying the Saudi fans don't deserve shows or whatever, but it's like, that government ain't progressive. Oh, progression happens slow. Yeah, well, whatever. You know, they're still in the goddamn 18th century with how they view things. So, and I'm talking to government, I'm not talking to people. But, they're cheering Riddle. I hope the Bengals lose Super Bowl by 50 points for that. I actually don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if the Bengals and Rams win. I don't give a shit if the goddamn stadium freaking collapses and they can't play the game there. I don't care. So Majin Buu was channeling Razor Ramon with the pose and everything. That was kind of nice. And Riddle, he just kept coming back. He shouldn't have come back, but as we know, Riddle refuses to take no for an answer. And I know Otis got rocked and got hit with a floating blow. 1, 2, 3. And I got this much to say about Corey's following commentary with the Carmella-Bianca match. Can somebody toss Corey in a nearby river or possibly just cut his goddamn headset? Corey Graves has reached Mark Madden levels of ineptitude and idiocy. He is making Raw almost impossible to listen to. Corey Graves and Michael Cole are basically on the same goddamn level. Michael Cole's been around way too goddamn long. He's really fucking bad at his job. Corey Graves, he thinks that he's Bobby Heenan. He thinks he's Jesse Ventura. Here's the difference. You could put Bobby Heenan on commentary now, who's been dead for a couple years, and he'd be better than Corey Graves. And Bobby Heenan wasn't able to talk that well, if at all, for the last few years of his life. And if Carmella doesn't get rid of that fucking gimp mask. Okay, Carmella versus Bianca. I'm sorry. Wait, I need something harder here to deal with it. Let me tell you right now, the absolute state of Carmella being allowed to be a professional wrestler, she fucking sucks. I'm sure she's a lovely person. Maybe she stopped being a burnt piece of beef jerky. She might be a lovelier person. Whatever. Bianca having to carry this goddamn inept, three-legged fucking gazelle to a passable match and barely being able to do it because even Bianca isn't Superman. Anytime Carmella breathes on WWE programming, it's embarrassing to professional wrestling. And her matches, her screaming and trying to do chin locks and trying to do whatever, sets wrestling back 10 fucking years. See, I thought Kelly Kelly wasn't all that good, but at least Kelly Kelly had the excuse of being shoved out there with literally no training. And tried to get better. Carmella's gotten progressively worse. She's basically Velvet Sky without the conspiracy theory thing. But I will say this about Corey and Carmella. They put the P in WKRP, if you'll see what I did there. They're the #1 couple. Man, they just whiz along whenever they're off camera. KOD 1, 2, 3. Thank fuck Bianca won. God damn it. And let's see. She beat Carmella and she beat Zelina. They're going to have her and Liv challenge for the tag titles. That's where Liv is on main event because they had to make room for Ronda Rousey. So much for Liv. See you next year, Liv. See you next year on TV. So they're recapping the therapy session they had 90 minutes ago, and this is a replica I bought on WWE Shop, a replica Lily. She has more personality than pretty much anybody on the creative team at this point. Terrible television. Terrible. I don't care where this goes. Gable cannot make this work. He mentions it's going to be a Quidjabo. Not until you tell us what a Quidjabo is. And then he knocks the local sports team. Go foosball. So, Jesus. Raw's on Sci-Fi next week and the following week because of the Olympics. Adjust your cocks accordingly. Adjust your DVRs accordingly. Or just assume that the show fell off the goddamn face of the earth like it has recently. Styles versus Ray. Qualifying match. Hey, something good. Too bad the rest of the show was a goddamn slog to get to it. This is good. Go and check this out. If nothing more, you get to see something cool, fresh-ish, and at least you got to see some good wrestling. And Styles won with the Styles Clash. And then, of course, somebody had the line. I believe Byron said it. It's only going to get harder in 3 weeks. That has some slow-acting Viagra. If it takes longer than 3 weeks, you need to consult your doctor. Fuck, if it takes longer than 3 minutes, I just hear myself say 3 minutes, probably should consult your doctor there. Ronda is here to talk about the government plot that was trying to stop her from winning the Royal Rumble. Miss Sandy Hook denier, this goddamn stupid twat. Oh, alleged? No, it's not fucking alleged. Here's the thing, Ronda Rousey, as far as an athlete, I can't take anything away from her as an athlete. I can definitely say she doesn't take losing very well. Not that a lot of athletes do. But maybe if you didn't try to box a fucking boxer, you idiot, then that wouldn't have fucking happened. I'm talking about the fight against Holly Holm. So, Ronda comes out. She doesn't want to be there. She doesn't. She does not at all. And I mean, nothing wrong with her being a heel. Nobody really likes her. But she just doesn't care one bit. I mean, it's just goddamn stupid. And, of course, you know, I understand that Ronda actually refuses. She refuses to pay. If somebody drives her, she refuses to pay because she doesn't want to pay trans. So, she doesn't know who she wants to face, Charlotte or Rebecca. Ooh, she's using her real name. Ooh. Cut off your hair and wash somebody's feet with it, you stupid twat. Becky was dressed like a deck of cards for some goddamn reason. And says, oh, you don't want to face me? I wouldn't want to face me either. But then Ronda arm tosses her and says, you'll find out my answer on Friday. And then Becky's like, oh, this kind of stuff. And then Lita RP comes in. I'm sorry, but if I'm going to make the comments about Bork being old, gotta do it. Lita looks great and I'm sure is trying to get just like one last dance with glory, but she wants to face Becky. An Elimination Chamber. Okay. Whatever. I mean, nothing, you know, okay, that's a fresh match. I'll say that much. It's also on a Saudi show. That I'm going to say, and for anybody that's still watching this, I will be reviewing that show, but since it's going to be on a day that I typically work a long shift, it's going to be on in the morning. I'm going to watch it on delay in the afternoon. Because I don't really care. But anyway, yeah, Terrible World. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.